And I had another idea. I quickly prepared another, yeah, really small screenshot, which is the top bar here. So I thought about maybe adding this top bar could be cool. So let's go in here and add that top bar as a 3D layer and copy the rotation of the time and the position also of the time. So let's upscale it. So something like that. And now let's link it to the SD card tracker. Let's see how that looks. I think adding that gives just an extra feel. Just pretty cool. And maybe we can round that edges. Just make sure that PNG is selected and double click. And now we rounded the edges pretty quick and easy. And also let's set the mode to screen. Oh yes, this is cool, I think. We drop the resolution and we turn off motion blur for now, so we have a smooth playback and make it fit to the comp. Yeah, this could actually look pretty cool. Let's see if this is something we want to have. But maybe not the date. Let's keep it for now. But this is I want it to be like more darker. Let's play around with that. Settings here with the curves. Yeah, that fits better. So yeah, that's cool. Yes. I think there's something with what we can add. So we are like connected to the internet and this looks like some more UI going on. And we can drop the opacity to around 90 or even 70. So it's not to present, you know? Yes. I think that's cool to have that like kind of in the background. But we can even move it maybe a little bit more forward. If we turn on the two views, we can actually see where everything is placed. So here is the top bar, and now here's the time. The top bar is even behind that time. So let's bring a little bit more forward and rescale it so it fits with even more of a 3D feeling. And let's make this pop in as well here, and let's keep that for now as it is. We can also add some more parts, like some UI of maybe my profile picture, which we also included into the files we already have on here. Maybe we can even add like here to the bottom, like my brand. Let's do this quickly now. We have more feel of that UI. So let's create a new comp. Here a new composition and call that at Keanu Visual Set. And the height, we don't need too much, so just 300 for the height, I think. That's looking good. And we are now creating a shape around it. No, let's create the text first, actually. And we can name it at Keanu.visuals. And let's make this medium italic. I think that's too much, like bold italic. Yeah, bold italic is good. Let's center it. Let's bring in that PNG of me, like this one here. Cool, a little bit big, but something like that could work. So we're going to place me here. Let's make sure this is also centered. And now we can create a mask shape, like a circle. Just use the ellipse tool, hold down shift, and we can create a cool mask. Oh no, shift and something like that. Let's go back to full resolution so we see what we're doing. Nice. We can even increase the size now a little bit more. Yes, something like that. Cool. Now it looks like that. If you toggle on that icon here, you can see that's transparent. And now we create a background shape with a rounded rectangle tool. Nothing selected. Stroke. We're going to activate stroke to like something 6. Now we draw a shape around here. Yes. And now go back into a rectangle path. Add increase the roundness. We call this one background because it's going to be our background shape. And now we can center it as well. Okay, that's good. But we need to scale down my icon a little bit. Maybe we don't even need that edge here. It's too much. And maybe let's bring that a little bit closer together. And for the background shape, going to create a little bit smaller one and make it almost black. Yes, something like that. And make it smaller, something like that. Let's try that. Increase roundness, background, bring it all the way to the bottom, and align it. Center, yes. Maybe we can add a drop shadow here, which could look cool with the color white. So the icon pops a little bit more. So we can choose the distance, something like that. And maybe we can even soften it. Soften it more. Yes. And set the color to not white, but a gray. Something like that. Yes. Bring Keanu visuals a little bit more to the icon. Move the icon as well. Yes. I think that's cool. Something could work. Let's bring it into our main comp and see how it looks. So here we can actually copy that orientation and bring it onto our add Keanu visuals, make it a 3D layer first. Copy it, boom. Here, maybe place it here at the SD card. So let's parent it to our tracker. Always, so it's sticking to it. Yes. Let's see how it looks when we change the blending mode to screen and scale it down to 60. Yes. I don't think that looks bad. I think that looks pretty cool. Let's bring down the anchor point here to the SD card and make it pop out as well. Up, down to 0. Nice. Boom. Moving that keyframes, guys. Shoom. Or maybe make it pop in a little bit later so it has a kind of delay. A bit earlier. You can activate motion blur for that one as well. And let's have a look what we have done. We just need one view for now and make it fit the comp. Let's have a look. Okay, looking cool. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Let's finish the beginning. So I prepared the footage I actually want to put here at the beginning or for the first SD card. So let's go to the first SD card again. Here it is. And let's add the footage. So I just prepared 2 shots, import it, and I have them here, clips for the second SD card. Yes, imported and are ready to go. So I'm just finding the right spot. I think that's pretty cool to see how it's flickering. Yeah, that's pretty cool where it's like pointing right at the camera here. Yes, let's create a new comp for that one. Or like, no, let's leave it like that. And here, and let's use that part here. Where I'm like sliding. I think at some point I even turn it off. Yes, something like that here. That's cool. Let's bring the shots in. Boom. Nice. Scale them down like we did before. Yes, I think we're going for 24, something like that. Place that one here and move the other one to the left. Yes. Let's make sure they're both centered. So it looks like you can see both of them. Yes. Something like that is pretty cool. Let's quickly add some colors. Okay, let's add that basic color correction, some good look, nice. And let's use the track matte, the mask background, so we are clean here. We can like move stuff so it's better in place. Yes, I think that's a good position for both. Now let's pre-comp both of them as well, pre-compose them. Yes, call them footage. And here we are going to draw a mask again, same like we did before, trying to match that line. Yes. Let's move it a little bit down here. Nice. And that's inverted. Yes, looking good. Turn off the audio, we don't need it. Let's see how it looks in the main comp. Et voila. We have some footage in here. Yeah, I think the footage matches. Let's see a full playback. Okay, no. We need to move it a little bit more. Like here. Okay, this clip is good, the right one, but we need to move this one in time. So it's something like that, maybe. Maybe that. Yeah, that's good. See if we can see how I turn it on. Like turn on the light, have that key moments. You can clearly see there's some footage playing. You don't need to see exactly what's going on there. So yeah. But the footage looks so dark. Let's see if we can add some lumetri color here. Actually make it a little bit brighter. Yes, something like that. Yeah, better. Let's do the same for the footage here. We need to make that pop. Yes. Close the other comps. Don't need it right now. Okay. Yeah, now the footage pops. That's what we want. Nice. Okay, cool. Let's move on. One more thing we can actually do is when I select it here, we have like the second time for the window. And we let's make it bump when I select it. Let's create a scale keyframe and crank it up. I don't know, something like that. And ease out and ease in. And the middle one ease. So, okay. Nice. That's cool. Yeah, that sells it even more. And we can also add a lumetri color effect here. Sometimes in between I have some ideas how to smooth some shots and make it look a little bit better. So I go in directly in it and do it. So transition to transition. Exposure keyframe here, we copy that one at 0 because we want to go back at 0 for exposure. And when we select maybe 2, yes, I think that's cool. So it kind of looks like I selected it. Cool, let's also ease these keyframes. Ease out and ease in and easy ease. Cool. So now we can go and create the actual spinning rotation selection. So I was thinking of maybe creating some wheel, like a wheel which rotates. So because I'm swiping like that, I thought it would be cool to have an SD card which actually can rotate. So let's create the rotation solid first. Are we gonna place it anywhere here? Command Y, we call that rotation solid. Let's make it really colorful, like reddish. Yes. Let's get it down a bit. Move it here. And I'm actually adding, because I'm doing it a 3D layer, and I'm copying the rotation I already have on my SD window, so it's matching. Yes, that's good. And now I'm going to link it to the SD card tracker. Important stuff going on here, guys. Okay, now it's tracked. Cool. And this solid is going to be responsible for everything we do. So we have this solid now in the right place. And this is going to be our rotation control. Make it even more clear. Rotation control solid, which we're going to need from here. Okay, so this is going to be the solid we are rotating. So if we rotate this one, for Y rotation, for example, we can attach different clips and actually make them rotate as well. And we can match this to the movement of our hand, which is pretty cool. And to create a carousel, like a rotating carousel, first of all, we need to create single frames, which we can actually place in a 3D space. Let's do this first. Yeah, let's see again. Like, this looks pretty cool. I like that. And now adding that rotation, I think that's going to be pretty nice. Guys, we're rushing through this edit. Like, the flow is on. All right, let's download that flow and go into our project and create a new folder for that. And we call that, let's say, carousel content. This makes sense. Damn. We create a new comp. We want to have it 1080 by 1920, so it's 9 by 16. We call that 01 carousel content. Nice, exactly what we want. Let's drop that in the right folder here, carousel content, and let's open the clips on the SD card. Let's get in the first clip, which is this one here. Let's fit it to the comp size. Yes. And now I'm going to duplicate this one and actually I'm reverse layer. And this one I'm going to duplicate as well. So we have kind of a loop for a long time like that, going back and forward. So everything is playing back here. But we actually, like, this is enough. We can actually go out from here. Let's do this again for a second and duplicate this one. Time reverse layer, boom, and then select all of them and Command D duplicate, Command D duplicate. So it just goes on for like 11 seconds. So we have enough time, which is pretty nice. Cool. Let's turn off the audio here and pre-comp this as our content. In this case, nice. Now we are going to choose the rounded rectangle tool and double click it. We create a shape layer, scale it a little bit down, open up the content options, rectangle path 1, increase the roundness to something on 80 is good, round. And we call this one mask. Yes, and duplicate it, and this one we call outlines. Boom. For the outlines, we are don't need any fill. So let's set fill to none. And for the mask, we are using here the mask for the content as track matte. Mask. Boom. Now we have our first grid we can use, our first content piece. And now we are going to create this for the other ones as well. So let's see how many clips we have. We have one, we already created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 clips, so we need 8 copies of that content carousel. And now the TrueComp duplicator again comes in really helpful. Just search here for the TrueComp duplicator scripts. Enter. You're going to find this one, TrueComp duplicator. Oh, good. And here you can name your own price, but like $25 is super fair because this one saves you so much time and a headache. So love that one. So let's move this one in here and duplicate this one. So window, after you install it, you can just go up to window and open up with the TrueComp duplicator. A little bit smaller. And I counted 8 copies. So now it's going to make 8 copies. Boom, which is perfect. And now you see all the main comps are here, in here, and actually duplicated all the clips, also the content ones. So the sub comps also get duplicated, which is amazing. So let's hop on number 2. And number 2, we can just open, go into the content folder and put in a new clip. Let's say number 3. Scale down to 50. Cool. So now we can duplicate this one, place it here, and do exactly the same. So we have an ongoing clip for like, I don't know, 10 seconds. It's just looping, looping, looping. If you have it, oh, sorry, did it wrong. First I need to reverse this one, of course. Time reverse layer. Now we can copy it and duplicate it. Boom. So if you have a clip which is long enough, you can just use that one. But mine clips there are just like 2 seconds long. So I definitely need to go in there. Same with number 3, just open up the content again. I can delete them here. Open up number 5. Number 5 is this, scale it to 50. Boom, like that, easy. And let's copy this one again and time reverse layer, duplicate it and drag it so it's looping. Nice. So I'm doing exactly the same for the next comps as well. So see you in a second. All right, so I've put all the content in the comps. So we have number 1 to 9 and all the content pieces prepared for our carousel. So we jump in our main comp and we create a new solid. So I have that rotation control solid. Boom. We scale this one down. Yes, like that. We just need this one to spin around. So we make this a 3D layer and we actually parent it to the SD card tracker. All right. So now the magic begins. We are dragging in the first content piece here on top. We can actually move this back. Where we have the animation to pop in is going to be here. So here is totally fine. So now we're making this layer, the first part of the carousel, actually a 3D layer. And now we parent it, go further in time so we see it clearly. And we parent it here to the rotation control. And now when we bring up the orientation, you see it's spinning with it. But yeah, I should have done one thing earlier. So we are setting back like the rotation control solid back in C space. You can open the second view here, choose second view, and then I choose the top camera so we can see the top. And now, if we bring on the first piece, content piece for the carousel, we can make it a 3D layer, and it's going to be far away from it. And now we can parent it to the rotation control. And now if we spin it, you see, it's rotating with it, which is pretty cool. And since we have 9 content pieces and we have, of course, 360 degrees for full rotation, we can use the calculator. We have 360 degrees divided by 9 is 40. So to have a clean animation, which is everything on the right position, we can now rotate by 40 degrees like that. And then we can add the second content piece. Now make it a 3D layer and parent this one also with rotation control. And like that, we're going to have like everything placed pretty well. But to have that, we need to place the rotation control even further back. Okay, let's try it like that. Get in the first one, make a 3D layer, parent it to the rotation control, rotate by 40. Yes, this is looking better. And now bringing the second content piece on top, make a 3D layer and parent it to the rotation control. Okay, now it's better, but we still need a little bit more space. We have some space in between here because it's too close to each other, in my opinion. So let's do one more time, move it even further back, something like that. Perfect. And I think that's the sweet spot. Now let's bring in, make it a 3D layer, first content piece, bring it, parent it to the rotation control, and let's rotate for 40. Nice. That's cool. That's looking right. Bringing the second one, make a 3D layer, parent it to the rotation control, clean. And next, plus 40, of course, is 80. Let's bring in number 3, make a 3D layer, and parent to the rotation control. Plus 40 is 120. Bringing number 4, drag it in, make a 3D layer, and parent to the rotation control. And we go ahead and now at 160, bring in number 5, boom, make a 3D layer, and parent to the rotation control. Yes, and so on. We are now at 200 and bring in number 6. And now we make it a 3D layer and parent it to the rotation control. And move another 40 degrees by 240. Bring in number 7 already. Make it a 3D layer and parent it to the rotation control. And here you can see now everything is perfectly aligned and around our rotation control. This is a pretty nice skill, which I think is pretty useful. And now let's do another 40 and go up to 280. Bring in number 8, make a 3D layer, and yes, here you can parent to the control. And now rotate about another 40, which would be 320. Oh, look, so many numbers. Bring in number 9, and this is clean. Make a 3D layer, parent to rotation control. Boom! That was pretty quick. To create that clean carousel, which is actually parented to our track of the SD card, which is amazing. And I just love that. So let's drag it here. And now you wonder, yeah, no, but this is not the right position, you know? This is looking wrong. But now, since we have parented everything to that rotation control, which is parented to our tracker, we can now just change the size and orientation and also, yeah, everything and we can like animate that carousel, which is pretty dope, man. Like we have all the control just by controlling here that solid, you know? I love that. Like this is some really cool shit, and I'm super hyped to animate this now. So I'm thinking to tag this ones as maybe blue and turn off the audio and see for a second if they're tracked right. Yes, everything is tracked correctly. And one cool thing is also we can change the scale of that solid, and you see it's changing the scale of all of the carousel in total. So this is pretty damn cool. I love that effect. Let's make sure that add Keanu visuals is below all that. So if it goes over it, yes, that's pretty cool. I think we can actually move it below everything. Yes, so now if the carousel goes above the SD card, of course, it should be above. So yeah, nice.